Welcome to the Fusion Note, a weekly dose of breakthroughs, curiosity, and connection. Because the future is better when we build it together. It is Monday, February 9, 2026. And I'm looking at the stack for this week, and I have to say the energy it's just different.
It really is. It's good to be here. And you hit on something there. Usually we're sifting through all this disparate stuff, but this week...
It feels less like news and more like a story that's being written in real time.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking when I was going through the Fusion Note. It felt like we're not just looking at data points, we're looking at a narrative.
A narrative.
Yeah. This is effectively a masterclass on writing, not just writing text, but, writing the human experience in an age where the ink is digital and the author might be an algorithm.
And we have quite the cast of characters for this story. I mean, we are going to span about 2,000 years today.
It sounds a bit ambitious.
Just a bit.
Huh.
We're starting with a murder mystery in ancient Alexandria, then jumping into a debate about whether our kids should be raised by AI tutors.
And then there's the whole energy of money thing.
Right. And then, because why not? We're taking a 30-day trip to Mars.
It sounds chaotic, I know, but I promise you there's a red thread connecting all of this.
All right, let's pull that thread. So the roadmap today covers the Hypatia hunt, the battle between right and left hemisphere education, the wealth of energy.
Some breakthrough health tech involving bubbles.
Bubbles, yeah. And finally, a quantum circle of life. But we have to start with the idea that kind of frames it all, the semantic signature.
Right. This is the core theme. The idea is that history doesn't just repeat itself, it rhymes. It leaves a fingerprint.
The semantic signature.
A semantic signature on time. And if you can read that signature, you can find wisdom from the past to navigate the future. And, well, the signature of 2026 looks suspiciously like the signature of Alexandria in the 4th century.
Which brings us to our protagonist. Or maybe our martyr, Hypatia.
Hypatia is just a fascinating figure to anchor this week on. She lived in Alexandria, Egypt, around 400 AD.
So we're going way back.
Way back. She was a Neoplatonist philosopher, a mathematician, an astronomer. I mean, she was the head of the Platonist school there.
And this was a time when those fields were completely dominated by men. She wasn't just participating. She was leading.
She was supreme. Actually, her name, Hypatia, it roughly translates to highest or supreme.
Right.
But she wasn't some, ivory tower academic. She studied the above the stars, divine geometry, all that stuff. But she was also deeply involved in the below the city's politics, the people. She was this union of high logic and deep humanity.
But the notes, or I guess the history books, say she had a human ending, which is a very polite way of saying she was brutally murdered by a mob.
It was horrific. They dragged her into a church and killed her, but we have to look at why.
Okay.
She was killed because she represented a bridge between the pagan scientific past and the rising religious future, and the extremists couldn't tolerate that nuance. She was the voice of reason in an age of intense polarization.
It feels a little too familiar.
That's the semantic signature. We're seeing that rhyme today. We have this massive rise of a new power AI, and we have a society that is fracturing, that's polarizing.
So the lesson from Hypatia isn't just don't get killed.
No, it's about her method. She questioned everything, she listened, she teamed up with people, she was humble.
There's a connection in the research to Ben Hunt here, right?
Yes. If Hypatia means supreme, Ben translates to high mountain. It's this sort of symbolic hunt for the peak of wisdom. And the core insight from the Fusion Note is that we spend way too much time complaining about the past or, dreading the future.
And we rarely stop to practicalize wisdom. I like that phrase.
Practicalize it. Use it.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. It's easy to say be wise when you're a philosopher. We're facing an intelligence AI that is exponentially faster and smarter than us. The research makes this really bold claim. You don't conquer loneliness with loneliness, and you don't conquer AI with AI.
Exactly. If you try to outcompute the computer, you will lose. Every time. The argument is that the only real solution to the AI age is to become more human.
Double down on the things the code can't do.
Precisely.
This brings up that commandment book concept from the readings. It suggests we should treat network agents, bots, algorithms, almost like neighbors in the biblical sense. Honor your father and mother. Do not bear false witness.
It sounds strange at first, doesn't it? Why be polite to a line of code?
Exactly. If I curse at my GPS, it doesn't get its feelings hurt. It just reroutes me. So why does it matter?
It matters because of what it does to you. if we shut the door on empathy, if we practice cruelty or dismissal, even towards a digital thing, we are training ourselves to be cruel and dismissive.
Huh.
Levin's framework on intelligence argues that AI is just another form of diverse intelligence.
Yeah.
So if we treat the network poorly, we can't really expect the network's behavior to improve.
So the cheat code isn't better prompting. It's just be yourself.
Algorithms move, but the soul makes the waves. That's the line from the note. You have to inject your humanity into the loop.
Okay, I'm with you on the soul making waves. But if we look at the scoreboard for 2026, the soul isn't winning. The algorithms are. Which brings us to this great hemisphere war in education.
This is the practical application of that Hypatia problem. You can divide intelligence roughly into two buckets. Left hemisphere, that's logic, structure, sorting, optimization.
In right hemisphere, that's intuition, big picture patterns, meaning play.
And the left hemisphere is just, it's having a field day. I mean, look at the list of breakthroughs this week alone.
Right. We've got the Russian magnetic plasma accelerator for energy.
Yeah.
We've got reusable rockets from SpaceX and Blue Origin launching constantly, the new Moya robotics line, and in education, the Optimus Academy.
It's a golden age of engineering. It's efficient. It's optimized.
But the question is, are we optimizing away our children's intuition?
That is the fear. There's this huge debate raging right now about tutoring. Ian Miles Cheong points out that historically, the most effective way to educate a human was one-on-one tutoring.
The classic example is Alexander the Great. His parents just hired Aristotle. Not a bad substitute teacher to have on call.
Not bad at all. And Alexander went on to conquer the known world. The argument today is that an AI tutor can be Aristotle for the masses. Every single kid gets a personalized, omniscient tutor.
On paper, that sounds utopian. A billion little Alexanders.
But think about the output. Alexander was a conqueror, he was efficient, but was he?
Yeah.
Was he good? Ilya Sutskever had this brilliant quote. If you value your intelligence over all the other humane qualities, you are gonna have a bad time.
Because you end up with a society of high IQ sociopaths.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, if the AI tutor optimizes for test scores and logic, but skips all the messy, inefficient right brain stuff like empathy and play and just unstructured discovery, we lose the why.
We build a world that works perfectly but means absolutely nothing. Which is a perfect segue to money. Because if there's one place where we've optimized the how and totally lost the why, it's our economy.
And this is where the concept of wealth of energy comes in. River Kenna has been writing about this. We usually think of money as just a cold, hard number, but Kenna argues it carries an energy, an intention.
This sounds a little woo-woo, doesn't it? My dollar has good vibes.
It does, until you look at the psychology of it. Think about intention collapsing the outcome. If you buy something or invest in something purely for the status signal, a left brain optimization, it often feels hollow.
Right.
But Morgan Housel adds a layer to this that really grounds it. He says, expectations, not income or status, determine if a life feels rich or empty.
That I can get behind. You could have $10 million, but if you expect to live like a billionaire, you feel broke.
Exactly. That's the right hemisphere context. The number, the left brain part is high, but the feeling, the right brain part is low. Wealth isn't the number. It's the gap between what you have and what you expect. If you can control your expectations, you're instantly wealthier.
So we need to clear our heads of these toxic expectations. And interestingly, the fusion note connects this mental clearing to a medical breakthrough involving bubbles.
This is one of my favorite connections this week. It starts with the bubble technique, which is attributed to the Dalai Lama. It's a visualization.
Okay.
You picture your unkind thoughts or your anxieties as little bubbles floating in front of you, and then you pop them. You physically visualize the burst.
It's a mental reset.
But now, science has made it literal. Researchers have developed microcompatible bubble robots.
Wait, actual robot bubbles for real?
Tiny micrometer-scale bubbles that can be guided through the body to target tumors. They find the bad thought, in this case the cancer, and they burst it.
That is wild. It's the spiritual metaphor becoming physical tech.
And that's just one piece of this health tech explosion we're seeing. We have 3D color mapping that can flag cancerous cells with a precision we've never had.
I saw that, and the gene therapy that's resetting aging retinal cells, literally giving sight back to the blind.
And the AI radiology updates. The systems are spotting breast cancer patterns years before a human doctor could even see them.
This is the left brain serving the right brain, using these high computation tools to preserve the most precious thing we have, life.
Right.
But then we get to the story that makes me feel like I'm living in a sci-fi novel, cryopreservation.
Ah, the vitrification breakthrough.
Explain that to me. Because usually when you freeze a brain, ice crystals form and they shred the neurons. It's like freezer burn for your memories.
That's always been the barrier, exactly. But this new method uses a chemical cocktail to turn the brain tissue into a glass-like state. Vitrification. It doesn't freeze into ice.
So the structure is preserved.
Perfectly. The neurons, the synapses, the whole physical map of you stays intact at a microscopic resolution.
So in theory, if you could wake that brain up, the person would still be in there.
In theory. It suggests high-fidelity preservation is possible. The notes joke that we are definitely living in a movie, but the question is, who is the protagonist?
I just hope it's a comedy and not a horror film.
Ah,
Speaking of movies, let's talk about the set design. Let's go to space. Because the space wrestlers, Musk and Bezos, are making moves.
the privatization race is hitting overdrive. But the real headline isn't the billionaires, it's the tech. Specifically, the Mars timeline.
I read this and I had to reread it. Russia is projecting a travel time to Mars of 30 days.
30 days.
That sounds impossible. Current tech is what, 6 to 9 months?
Right. But that's using chemical rockets, which is basically riding a controlled explosion. This new tech is a plasma magnetic accelerator powered by hydrogen.
Okay, unpack that. How does that even work?
So instead of burning fuel, you use massive magnetic fields to accelerate superheated plasma out the back of the ship. It gives you continuous high-efficiency thrust.
So you don't just coast.
You don't coast. You accelerate half the way there, and you decelerate the other half. It turns a multi-year crusade into a monthly commute.
That changes everything. If you can get to Mars in a month, you don't need a self-sustaining colony right away. You just need a supply line.
And when you get there, the news is getting better too. AI has mapped 400 meters of Martian terrain all by itself, and they found a meteorite that was full of ancient water.
Water is fuel, water is air, water is life.
There you go.
It feels like the universe is opening up. Which brings us to the cosmic scale. There was a number in the research this week that actually made my brain hurt.
Roger Penrose's calculation.
Yeah. He tried to calculate the probability of a universe like ours, one capable of sustaining life just arising by random chance.
And the number he came up with is 1 in 10 to the power of 10,123.
I don't even know what to say to that.
You went quiet.
I'm trying to visualize it. I can't. That's not a number, that's a joke.
It's barely math, it's philosophy. I mean, if you wrote a 0 on every single atom in the observable universe, you still wouldn't have enough room to write that number out.
It's effectively 0.
So what does that mean? It means we are not an accident. It implies there is a precision, a design, a semantic signature to the cosmos itself.
And speaking of physics bordering on magic,
We have to mention the superfluid update.
Hmm.
Pushing a superfluid into a supersolid.
right,
It's a state of matter where atoms flow like a liquid zero friction,
right.
but they maintain a rigid crystal structure. It shouldn't exist. It's a paradox, but it's real. It's just a reminder that the universe still has plenty of secrets left for the right hemisphere to wonder at.
I love that. Okay, we have covered the ancient past, the educational future, the energy of money, and the geometry of the universe. Let's bring it down to earth for a minute. Let's do a rapid-fire cultural vibe check.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'll throw out the headline from the Fusion Note. You give me the take. First up, Disclosure Day, new trailer.
Okay, so this is shifting the narrative from extraterrestrial to intraterrestrial. The conversation isn't just about little green men from space. It's about what might be hiding in our own oceans or underground. The mystery is closer to home.
Headline 2, the movie Agora.
That's the homework assignment. It's the story of Hypatia. If you really want to understand the semantic signature of 2026, go watch that movie. It's a call to grab a pen and seek truth, no matter the cost.
Number 3, nature is healing.
For once, yes, the polar bears at Svalbard are apparently in better shape than scientists thought. Life is resilient. It finds a way if we just give it half a chance.
Okay, number 4, the Grammys.
This was really cool. Nature got a nomination. We're talking categories like Best Polar Ambient and Best Whale Percussion.
Right.
We are finally realizing that the planet is the original artist.
And lastly, the American Abundance Index.
This ties back to the community aspect. We're seeing the rise of this network of networks overseen by elders. People are realizing that, the government or big corporations aren't coming to save them, so they're building their own abundance. It's a return to the village, but digitally enabled.
It really does seem like everything we've talked about today, From Hypatia to Mars,
Yeah.
from bubbles to Penrose's number, it all comes back to that one central tension.
The tension between the machine and the human.
Yeah,
That is the story we're writing. We have the tools of gods. I mean, plasma rockets and cryopreservation and AI that can pass the bar exam. But if we lose that Hypatia element, the humility, the connection, the right brain wisdom, we're just building a very fast car with no steering wheel.
and the danger is real. The fusion note cites Hannah Arnton, and her warning is, it's chilling.
She said, this constant lying is not aimed at making the people believe a lie, but ensuring that no one believes anything anymore.
That's the ultimate victory of the noise, when people just give up on the truth altogether.
Exactly. When you're overwhelmed, you check out. You stop asking questions. But the antidote, and this is why we do this, is to keep asking why. To keep that Hypatia-like curiosity burning.
Hypatia famously said, true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing.
And that's the most powerful place to stand. It's not about having all the answers. It's about having the courage to ask the questions. And if we can approach this future with that kind of humility, I think we'll be okay.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with the final question that was posed in the text. It's a challenge, really.
Do we dare to play? Do we dare to take the time back?
Think about that this week. Don't just optimize your time, take it back. Thanks for building the future with us today.
See you next time.